This is Baggers View. Coming up, we discuss how West Brom can turn things round to avoid a relegation battle. Hello and welcome to Baggers View. Well, it's tough times at the Hawthorns at the moment, and West Brom have only kept one clean sheet in the last 21 games. I'm joined by Chris Lebkowski. You were at the 2-0 defeat at Ewood Park. What was your verdict on that game?
Very disappointing again. Individual mistakes are costing them at the moment. Gabriel Tamas yesterday, bad positioning for the first goal, heads it past his own goalkeeper. Second goal, he allows a player to get too easily past him, and it was a good strike by Hoylett, but he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. And Albion had chances, but they're not clinical enough in front of goal. They're not making the most of the opportunities they get, and they're conceding on average about 2 goals per game at the moment. And you can't do that. You end up in a dogfight at the bottom if you keep persisting with that. So they've got to snap out of it.
And Yusuf Melun, one of West Brom's better performers this season, he was taken off during the game, and the fans didn't like that decision. But what was your view on that?
Well, I completely sympathise with the manager's decision. I obviously keep notes and analyse what's happening on the pitch. For me, Melun was having a really rocky period during the game yesterday. His passing had gone astray. In the build-up to his substitution, he got caught in possession a couple of times. It was a positive move to bring Simon Choi on anyway, in my view. Melun was one of a few players who could have gone off. I didn't see any problem in him going off. I thought it was a good move. Albion improved for a 10-15 minute period after that, up until the period where they weren't awarded the penalty, which they should have been. At that point, heads dropped. But, for the period immediately after Simon Choi came on, I thought they responded really well.
What do West Brom need to do now, though, to turn things round? Because they're getting themselves into the relegation fight now. Is it at the goal-scoring end of the pitch? Is it the strikers where the problem is? Or is it in defence? Or is it both?
I said when Albion beat Arsenal that there would be really tough games coming up. There would be tough results and tough days. One of the problems with West Brom, they went about their business last year with a view to evolving the team by spending more on wages. They did that. They have improved the quality of the squad. However, have they improved it enough? Possibly not. We'll find out in May. And that's the problem. Albion were starting behind other clubs. To lose to Blackburn, who have been in the Premier League for so many years, is no disgrace. The problem Albion have got is that they're allowing mistakes to dictate their results at the moment. They need to cut that out. Quality players, basically, are the key in the Premier League. Have Albion got enough at the moment? I'm not so sure they have, and that's going to be a problem. They need help up front, because Peter Odemwingie can't be expected to score every week. They need another option up front. John Carew, we know about, they didn't get him. He would have been the ideal option, and he would have allowed Odemwingie to play deeper, perhaps give him more of a threat up front. Defensively, they can't go on conceding 2 goals a game. They will be relegated, or they'll stay up by default if they're 3 worst teams, and I'm not sure they are at the moment. So they do need to work on that. Maybe they need to bring in another defender. They have got options, but to me it looks like they need to spend more time on the training pitch, morning and afternoon. This whole concept of players going home at midday when they're failing week in, week out, it's just unacceptable for me. Manager needs to get them in. He needs to get them on drills. He needs to put pressure on the board to do a little bit more, frankly, because, Wong Sherman has presided over 3 relegations so far. This could be the 4th. And we can't keep blaming the manager and one set of players. There has to be an accountability from everyone.
OK, well, now moving on to transfers. You mentioned that West Brom need to look up front for someone to help Peter Odemwingie and possibly maybe for some cover in defence. Yeah. Where are West Brom standing in that at the moment?
Well, I've just said that the board need to do more. Let's be honest, it's a notoriously difficult window to deal with, clubs don't want to release players, and there isn't an awful lot out there. They went for John Carew last week because he was available. Stoke got him. They were willing to match what Albion were paying and what Villa were asking for. They need defensive help, in my opinion. I think they need to focus on that and bringing in a goal scorer. Finding those players will be difficult, but this window hasn't just crept up on them. They've known about it for the whole of autumn and this part of winter. They need to react. They need to badger teams, badger clubs. They need to try and get somebody in to try and give the whole club a lift in the same way that Darren Bent gave Villa a lift this week. Because they can't continue like this. You know, it's a flat atmosphere around the place at the moment, not surprisingly. And they need some form of impetus, really. They need Peter Odemwingie, the expectation on him to be eased a little bit by giving him a player who maybe can provide and help him out with the goals, and equally they need some at the back because the defenders they've got at the moment aren't doing it.
Okay, Chris, well, thanks for those thoughts and views today. And thank you for watching. We'll be back again next week with more Baggies View.